Strategy is a very important um, arsenal for two reasons. First, if you're a person without strength, then you need strategy. And the reason is because in the absence of strength, your chances of survival in the animal kingdom is already very, very limited. Strength is a resource. Physical strength, for instance, guarantees that at least you may be able to survive in the case of a fight, war, something like that. But in the absence of strength, then you require strategy, because without strategy, how are you going to survive? You don't have the biological makeup for survival. And so it makes sense for you to have some sort of advantage. And the only advantage you can possibly have as an individual is to have a strategy. Secondly, in the presence of limited resources, your only chances of even surviving is to have some strategy. And why you need a strategy is because you are already an endangered species. You don't have the resources. It's pretty much like somebody going into business and they don't have experience, and they don't have money, and they don't have investors that are looking to invest in their business. They are already heavily disadvantaged. For them to survive in that particular business or startup, they would need some sort of superior strategy. The good thing about strategy, though, is that strength is deceptive. Because when you begin to rely so much on your strength and on your resources, then you become lazy, you become reckless, you become arrogant, and then you are susceptible to attack. So most people who have strength often are stupid. And that's for a good reason. Just like most people who have resources, they are often stupid because they trust so much in what they have that they begin to undermine possible destructive agents that are possible, that are capable of destroying them because they are so confident in what they have. So strategy is a necessity for survival today, because if you are like 98% of the people in the world, you don't have resources and you don't have the biological makeup for survival out there. You don't. And if you were born in a third world country, you are already disadvantaged, at least on the global scale of events. You don't have electricity, you have poor internet, you're probably from a poor home, you have a very terrible government, terrible policies. The odds are heavily against you. Your only chance of survival is to have some kind of strategy, because without strategy, you can't make it. You don't have what it takes to make it. Success is not by accident. And so we all should be students of strategy, especially if you are an endangered species like myself and the 98% of people in the world. Born from disadvantaged homes, born into disadvantaged continents. Now, that's not to say that Nigeria itself is not blessed, or that being born into Nigeria is a total disaster. All I'm saying is that the average Nigerian does not have what it takes to survive. At least at the global stage, you probably had poor education, poor parenting, poor everything. Our only chances of survival is that we take control of our own destinies and design our own life. And the only way we can achieve this is to become students of strategy. Two things strategy will teach you. One is to think of how to survive. The reason is because only the living has a future. If you are crushed, you have no future. So the first most important thing is not even to succeed, it's to survive, it's to be able to eat for today so you can see tomorrow. Because if you can't eat today, you won't be alive to fight for tomorrow. So first is to survive. First is to find your food. First is to build some sort of networks, some sort of connections, to be part of some kind kind of ecosystem that provides you with some kind of protection for you to see the next day. And then after survival comes the next level, which is success. In success, we look at the larger issues of life. We look at how you can maximize your experiences, maximize your resources for you to be able to build or create a world of your own. But it is important to understand that the first primary precept that I think, it's just my opinion, is for you to see the next day. So suicide is not an option. Addiction is not an option. Because none of these things are going to keep you to see the next day. You will kill yourself. You don't want to kill yourself. You need to find some kind of soft landing. Find some kind of work, something you believe in, something you're passionate about. Or at least something that puts food on the table. I'm not saying you must be passionate about your work, but at least you need to have something that keeps you engaged, that keeps you mentally engaged, keeps you emotionally engaged, because in the process of those activities, you begin to realize yourself, realize your potentials, you have more reason to wake up in the morning, and then you live to see the next day. And guess what? Opportunities are always out there, but you need to be alive to see them. They are going to come. There is always light at the end of the tunnel, but if you die before you get to the end, you won't live to see the light. So strategy is a critical concept, and that is why I've become a lifelong student of strategy, because strategy teaches me to look beyond my weaknesses, to never undermine my shortcomings. It teaches me that with proper planning and execution, I can achieve whatever I want, irrespective of my shortcomings, my weaknesses, and my lack. Strength is a good thing. But you know what is better than strength? Strategy. Good strategy. My name is Stephen.